$1 million a month with my e-commerce social media marketing agency. Sounds pretty crazy, goes against every single rule of business. How could an agency, a service-based business, scale to $1 million a month? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you the exact strategy I'm going to be following in the next 2 to 3 years to hit this mark, how I plan to have my agency make me a multi-millionaire, and how you can use these concepts to switch from the traditional SMMA mentality of starting a social media marketing agency for restaurants and dentists and making, 5 to 10K a month for maybe 1 to 2 years, essentially from having a little quick fad, a little business that makes you a bit of money to sustain your lifestyle, to having a multi-million-dollar business that has true longevity and that can sustain you for the rest of your life as well as future generations. Now, 2 things to keep in mind before starting the video. Number 1, this video is not for everyone. I know many people who are completely fine just scaling their agency to 5K a month, 10K a month, and they're completely happy with that. And they don't really have the ambition of building a multi-million-dollar business, and that is completely fine. The strategy that I want to share with you in this video is more for the people that are looking to build a real actual business, a business where you're not really thinking so much about the money anymore, but you're thinking about the bigger impact. And secondly, if you're not new to my channel, you probably know how I roll, but if you're new to my channel, this is not to brag. This is not to say, look at me, look at my agency, right? The reason why I want to create this video is because it's exciting and it's motivating for me to see the possibilities with the agency model that no one is actually talking about, that no one is considering, and for you to see the massive potential and possibilities that there are in the agency model when you actually think a bit bigger and when you have a right plan of attack. So I'm super excited for this video, and without further ado, let's go right into it. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is where I'm currently at with my agency. Now, I run an EMA, which is an e-commerce marketing agency, where we take brands that we truly believe in and we scale them to 7 and 8 figures. Currently, that agency is making around 54,000 USD every single month. Now, very quickly, if you guys don't know the difference between an EMA and a social media marketing agency and SMMA, essentially EMA is a term that I've coined to describe the agencies that are serving purely e-commerce businesses. On the flip side, SMMA I use to describe the agencies that are more of the traditional agencies that are serving local businesses. I'm talking restaurants, clinics, dentists. Now, there are big differences between the two, and I've come out plenty of times and said that I'm a much bigger fan of e-commerce marketing agencies for a number of reasons. Number 1, your value is crystal clear. Number 2, you can tap into the worldwide economy, so you're not restricted by a specific geography. Number 2, you can charge based on performance-driven incentives, and there's really no cap to your earnings because, when it comes to a local business, when it comes to a restaurant, you can't really scale past a certain amount because, quite frankly, they only have a certain number of tables to fill. And the list goes on and on. I put out plenty of videos on the subject. You can check this video out after wrapping this one up. But understanding the core differences between the two is actually very important to understanding the strategy that I'm going to be following to scaling to 1 million a month with my agency. So with that being said, the way I'm going to break down the strategy is through different stages that I'm going to be going through with my e-commerce marketing agencies. And these are the exact stages that you can go through with your e-commerce marketing agencies to achieve different financial brackets. So the first stage is what I call the agency stage. This is the most common stage. You pick one single service for e-commerce clients, whether it be email marketing, paid ads through Facebook and Google, chatbots, content creation and curation, the list goes on. So you've picked one single service and you've also picked one single sub niche. Whether it's tech, apparel and fashion, nutrition, whatever you've picked, you narrow down into one single sub niche, which is incredibly vital if you're to have success with your e-commerce marketing agency at the start, because you don't want to compete in a bloody red ocean with other e-commerce marketing agencies that have been around for much longer than you have. Now, a few great things about the e-commerce space on the financial side of things is, number 1, you can actually charge higher retainers. And there's a number of reasons why that is. Number 1 being that they actually have higher profit margins. And so they're making much more profit. These businesses tend to be much more scalable. And so they actually have more money to play with for their growth. And the second reason being that all these services that I just mentioned, I'm talking about email marketing, paid ads, these are literally the lifeblood of any e-com business. And the very simple reason for that is that the main way that e-commerce businesses are going to get eyeballs on their product, on their brand at the start is through paid traffic. Obviously, they can put together a content marketing strategy. They can put together an influencer marketing strategy as well and attempt to get organic traffic. But that is definitely the slow lane, right? They know they need paid ads. They know that in order to have a business that has predictability and that can be scaled, they need to be able to acquire a customer at a cost that makes sense for them and that makes them profit, right? So they need to be able to acquire a customer for $1 and then make $3, $4, $5, depending on their profit margin. On the flip side, if we compare that to local businesses have street traffic. Local businesses have a lot of referrals. Local businesses also have what I call elimination traffic. If you live in a specific area and there's only one gym that is decently close to your home, you're probably going to pick that gym over other gyms simply because it's convenient, right? So local businesses are not really relying on paid traffic to sustain their business. So that's that for higher retainers. And the second thing and the most important thing in this equation is performance-driven incentives. For the vast majority of our clients, we make most of our money on the performance-driven incentives, meaning we tend to charge a percentage of ad profit. And the reason why we can do this is because unlike with local businesses where you're optimizing for leads, so there's not a clear dollar sign attached to these people because they haven't bought from you, right? Our value is actually so clear when it comes to e-com businesses. Our clients can very clearly see a dollar sign attached to every single purchase. So there's absolutely no question as to what our value is, and there's absolutely no question as to how much money we're making them each month. The other reason why performance-driven incentives are a no-brainer, and the reason why we make most of our money on the performance-driven incentives is simply because with e-com businesses, there's absolutely no cap on growth. What I mean by that is you can literally take a brand from 10K to 100K to 200K. Obviously, there's going to be changes in their systems, in their processes as you scale, because that's going to lead to more chaos, right? But it's not going to break their business. However, if you were to scale a restaurant from 10K, right, to 100, 200K, it would mean that they have to hire more staff, hire more tables, get a bigger space, right? And so it would be a complete mess. And the reason why this is important is because when we charge a performance-driven incentive for our clients, that income that we're making every single month from them is actually growing, right? So we can start, let's just say we charge a client $2,500 plus a 20% ad profit, right? The first month, that could come out to be $3,000, right? The next month, it could come out to be $4,500. The next month, it could be $7K. Next month, it could be $12K, $15K, $20K, right? And so you're growing with the business, which is great because it keeps you motivated, right? You're invested into the growth of their business. The client absolutely loves that, and it grows your agency exponentially. And so bringing everything full circle in the agency stage of an e-commerce marketing agency, you can actually expect to make upwards of $100,000 to $200,000 per month, which is almost unheard of with local businesses. And the reason why that is number one, the higher fixed retainers, but most importantly, the performance-driven incentives that grow month on month with your clients. So not only are you making your clients multimillionaires, but you're building a 7-figure agency. So my predictions, and according to my revenue plan, I expect to hit the 100K mark in a few months. I will be sharing that with you on the channel, the exact numbers behind it all. But by the end of the year, I'll probably be at around 150 to 200K a month with my agency. So that is the first stage, the agency stage. Now onto the second stage, which is the growth partner stage. During this stage, I plan to make $4 to $5 million total in around 5 to 7 years. And here's precisely how. When you get to a point where you have 4, 5, 6 clients, which is not a lot of e-commerce clients, but each of them is generating maybe 50, 100, 150K in performance-driven incentives. When you get to a point where you're making 100 and 150K per month from one single client, it actually makes a lot more sense for them and also makes sense for you to get equity in that company. So depending on how much you're making from them every single month and depending on how much you're making them every single month, they could offer you anything from 2% to even 10, 15% of equity in the company. Now, obviously your stake or your convertible note, which I could talk about for an hour, 2 hours alone on it, will probably get diluted if you bring on external investment or whatever you do. But that stake in 5, 7 years could be worth 2, 3, 4, 5 million if the company sells, or if you decide to part ways and you decide to cash in your stake. For example, in my case, I actually have one client right now where I have an equity deal with them. And so if everything goes to plan and they sell for 50 to 100 million in around 5 to 7 years, that will actually convert into 4 to 5 million US dollars. So that is the second stage, and now to the third stage. Whoa, but before we get into the third stage, if you're not new to my channel, you probably know what's coming. But if you're finding value in this video, I'd really appreciate if you made that ugly looking gray like button turn blue. The YouTube gods just love it when you do that, and I'd really appreciate it. And with that being said, let's get back into the video. Now, the third stage is what I call the e-com incubator stage. I want you to imagine this. In a year, 2, 3 years, right? You've worked with a myriad of different e-com businesses. We're talking top businesses, right? Businesses that are making anywhere from 30K a month to even, 100, 200, 300, 500K a month, okay? You've seen what works, what doesn't. You've handled probably millions in ad spend. You've experimented and split tested so many different variables when it comes to ad copy, content creation, different audience targeting, different email flows, right? Different conversion rate optimization tactics. The level of expertise that you've garnered from being in the trenches, right? And growing not only one ecom business, right? But growing a myriad of different ones. You're so incredibly agile as an ecom marketer, as an ecom growth hacker. And not only that, but you've built an incredible A team. A very lean team. It could be 2, 3, 4 people of, expert copywriters, growth hackers, media buyers, content creators. You've literally built a dream team. And under your belt, not only do you have one ecom business that has been successful, but you've built 3, 4, 5, 10 ecom businesses that have hit 7 and 8 figures. Now it's time to put your money to play. Now it's time to put your money on the line and launch your own ecom brands. This is where it gets really, really exciting. Now, bear in mind, I absolutely love the other stages. I absolutely love the agency stage. I absolutely love working with incredible clients that we truly believe in, growing them to 7 and 8 figures. But there's something about putting your own money on the line. There's something about building an asset like a brand that can really scale. And that's what's exciting about this stage, the scalability potential. This brand, this product that you're going to launch is going to play a massive role in taking you and me to that $1 million a month. With this brand, due to the scalability potential, you can expect to take it to $500K to $1 million a month in revenue. For example, a few weeks ago, I looked around my team, an incredible team of experts, growth hackers, media buyers, copywriters, right? And I got an opportunity thrown at me regarding a product. And it was honestly a no-brainer. And that product I'll be probably launching later this year with the help of my e-commerce marketing agency. Now, here's the very little but very important caveat that I want you to keep in mind regarding this stage. And neither would you. And the reason why that is because when you build your e-commerce marketing agency, the great thing about it is that now you have a ton of experience that you've garnered from working with other e-com brands. So you've literally used these brands in a very good way, right? Because you've made them a ton of money, but you've used these brands to battle test your concepts, right? To learn a ton about building a business, different components like product development, logistics, not just the marketing side of things, right? Logistics, product development, branding, right? You've also put together an incredible team. Yes, there might have been a few people that have come and gone from the team, but now you've got a stellar A team. And finally, and very important, you've got the capital to accelerate the growth of this new brand. And that is why the stage for e-commerce marketing agencies is almost inevitable. So those are the 3 stages. Now, a final few words to wrap up the video. The first thing is you don't have to use this strategy. You don't have to go down this path. At this point, I've spoken to a lot of wannabe agency owners and existing agency owners on application calls for my mentorship. And a lot of people have spoken about the need and want, right? And excitement to actually build a business that has massive impact and that has true longevity. Not just an agency that will make them a bit of money, maybe will make them 10K a month for 2 to 3 years. They want to build a real business with true longevity that grows over time. And so that is why also e-commerce marketing agency excites me so much, because there's absolutely no cap. The road that lays ahead, if you move through these stages, right? If you put in the work, if you have the right plan of attack, if you have the right guidance, and you move through the stages over time, is insane, right? There's so much potential. And the final thing that I will leave you with is that, look, e-commerce and social media are just getting started. And for us who are maybe in this space every single day, we might think that it's almost second nature, right? But it really is just getting started. And, we saw in 2020 where e-commerce grew more in 6 months than it's grown in the past 10 years, right? So e-commerce, social media is just getting started. And in 5 to 10 years, everyone is going to be selling online, whether it's education, whether it's a product, is going to be sold online. And so knowing that, building this team, right? Building this team of experts that can grow anything online, it's honestly an incredible asset to build and to have. Not only for your own products, which we talked about, but also for the people who are aching to just get their foot through the door in the e-commerce space and build a successful business. So guys, that is that for this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a massive thumbs up on the video. Helps out with the algorithm and the whole channel, and I'd really appreciate it. Also, leave down below in the comments any questions you may have on the video, and I'll be sure to check this out. If you haven't subbed to my channel, there's so much content coming out on EMA, SMMA, digital marketing, and a ton of other really cool topics. So go ahead and sub to my channel, hit the little bell icon so you never miss an update. And the final thing is, if you haven't joined my free Facebook community, it's an incredible community full of like-minded people looking to scale their agency, level up in life, and reach their full potential. So if you want to join that, go ahead and check out the link in the description, apply, and if you're a good fit, we will let you in. And as always, hope everything's going well in your journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.